going to try and change things up for our Pride Month celebrations. Today, we put the spotlight on LGBTQ plus couples that prove love wins. Joining us live via Zoom are Agatha Uvero and attorney Alex Castro. It's a beautiful day, Agatha and Alex.
Hi.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, guys. I have no words because I'm just looking at y'all, and y'all are both so beautiful. You guys are glowing on our screens.
Thank you.
I got you.
Aw,
Yeah.
thanks. Well, I want to know, how did you guys meet? What were your guys' first impression when you met? Was it love at first sight or was it a slow burn?
Well, we're both from UP. That's how we came to know of each other. Agatha was also very visible when it comes to the gender, women's scene, I guess.
Yeah, like women's
Um,
empowerment.
Yeah, so I saw her as that. So she was this very vocal, a person who wasn't afraid to speak on those issues. So my first impression of her was, well, I was very impressed with her bravery at the time, how intelligent she was, how smart she was, and yeah, how willing she was to just speak about these issues. So, well, for me, I guess it was. Attraction, you can say, at first sight, because of that. But yeah, we've known each other for years, but we didn't really.
We've known of each other, but we never really had like a moment where we talked to each other or we were formally introduced to each other because Alex, so since she mentioned we're both from UP, Alex also was the student council chair in UP, chairperson in UP. So, but we didn't.
It was ages ago.
Yeah, that was ages. But we didn't reach each other. And then I was the courtside reporter. So I don't know. We kind of moved around similar circles, I guess, but we never our paths never really crossed. Like in those places where they could have. I don't know if you know about the red string theory, but that's like something we always talk about because it's like we were in the same places, in the same like almost situations sometimes, but we never really met until we were meant to meet. So how we met? You wanna take this one here?
So I guess you can say when we first really met and sat down together, it was probably like, I don't know, 7 years, 8, 9 years in the making.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a really long time, but we've known each other for a very long time. So when we sat down together to, I guess, meet and maybe explore things
in
a bit.
person.
Yeah, from that first meeting, it was crazy because it was just like fireworks.
Yeah, I think an instant attraction for sure. With us, the way that it kind of showed itself when we first met in person, I couldn't like look her in the eyes. I really couldn't. I asked her if she could sit by my side, and then we were talking because I was so nervous. But it was like exciting. We looked like we were being tickled. You know, that like smiling.
Yeah.
So we sat next to each other just like this, and then we were talking, and then I was looking straight, and then, I was telling her like, don't look at me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Agatha, you mentioned being nervous. Can you tell us why, or rather where that came from? And of course, did you ever get over being nervous and realize, uy, baka butterflies to, hindi to, talaga nervyos?
You know what? Actually, I'm glad you asked that because I feel like that's such an important marker for me. Because before Alex, I wasn't really out. Like I dated some women, but it wasn't something that I was very public about. And then I had public relationships with men. So I always felt like when I was dating men, I wasn't as nervous. I was like, oh, this is normal. And then when I met her, when I was going to meet her, before she arrived, because I was there first, I was so I was so nervous. And then I was kind of talking to myself in the bathroom. I was like, what's going on? So that's how I knew that this was something like special. And then I think it was a mixture of excitement and I guess like I didn't know how to go about it because yeah, like there's I guess it's also something to do with me finally giving myself like the chance to explore something that I'm actually quite excited about.
Yeah, Agatha, you mentioned you dated guys before dating Alex. How was that coming out, and especially being a public figure, how was the pressures of coming out as a queer person?
Oh, okay. That's a funny story because when we started talking, I was telling her how, no, I've always kind of alluded to it, me being queer, but like no one believed me. Because I actually mentioned it a lot in like little kind of, what do you call them? Like clues
Yeah.
every now.
Yeah, she was leaving these small clues that no one could get, I guess, in the captions of her photos, in her tweets.
Yeah. And honestly, because I came from studying in an all-girls school. So I knew since I was 16 that I was queer. So I've known for a long time. Unfortunately for me, I came out to someone in my family who said to me at that time at 16 years old that maybe this is a phase,
Phase, yeah.
right? So that's pretty common. I think people think it's not something that's so harmful, but when you're trying to figure out something that is kind of difficult to understand, it's when you're being told that it's a phase, you kind of second guess yourself. So for a long time, I felt that as I was exploring my sexuality, that I had to be completely sure before I came out with something so definitive, like a statement, right? But yeah, and then so even if I was kind of, being a queer person, it wasn't until I met someone, Alex, that I felt like, okay, no, I'm 100% sure. And I think maybe this is going to be enough for people to actually believe that
Yeah.
I am queer. Some people might think that it's still, a phase. I get that sometimes, especially being, someone in the public eye. But honestly, like I've been this way since for a long time, and I think I've been very careful about what I share and what I keep to myself. And sometimes the most precious things you hold close to your
Yeah.
heart until it.
Yeah. So in many in poorly put, it's not news to you, and for some people it might be, but again, it's not something that medyo biglaan on your part. And attorney, actually, I want to talk a bit about you and your background as well, because you are a Bausi lawyer, and at the same time, you also mentioned the fact that Agatha would advocate for women's rights even back in college. I mean, you talk about your current profession, her advocacies in the past. How important were all of that put together in terms of how this relationship is shaping up?
Wow. Well, well, first off, well, I'm in no way a perfect, pristine, person or partner. I'm still working on some things, but what I learned from my profession, which I'm able to apply to my personal relationships, especially with Agatha, is really valuing. Well, it's so basic, but sometimes I think people miss the whole point. It's really valuing the concept of consent. So in our relationship, we try to exercise that in, well, just everything, not even just the big things like big decisions, decisions when it comes to like the relationship in general, or maybe some other aspects of it, like literally everything. So even just, for example, deciding where to eat, I guess, or what to eat, or just those small things, that we get to exercise it, and just it helps that make it a core uh, factor or element of our relationship. So that's really what I tell people whenever they say that, for example, like, okay, you're a bossy lawyer, aren't you maybe just a little bit more strict, or like, aren't, I don't know, people I think have this impression of me being this stuck up person when it comes to personal relationships, like there's no fun in it. But we
Very
always,
serious.
yeah, but we always talk about it, that's what makes the relationship even more fun, when you know that you're both consenting to like everything. So it's a joint partnership experience. So I guess that's how my career, my profession helps out with not just Agatha and me, but also just how I deal with people in general.
I think also because like when you're a lawyer, you handle a lot of stuff. And I think like with us, the both of us, we share the same passion, I guess, for these things and the same advocacy. So at the end of the day, we understand each other. When she gets a little bit busy, but at the same time, it adds to like the pride I think we feel for each other whenever we do our own things. Yeah, we both share that passion, and it becomes like something we bond over.
I love the connection that you girls have. I really feel it. Personally, I cannot help but smile every time we roll your material and you basically recreated the pottery scene from Ghost. With
Okay.
I would that this is a deep cut as a 90s baby that I'm so happy that you referenced that. So I'm gonna toss it over to Mona
Yeah,
because
you
that's all
guys-
I could think about right now. So-
You guys should have seen Paolo literally cheesing when he saw y'all's photos. It's really cute. Okay, I don't know what he's doing.
You don't know that? Oh
I
my
don't.
gosh.
I haven't seen it. I'm so sorry.
No. Oh,
Yeah, oh my
go
gosh,
ahead, go
don't
ahead.
hate me. But anyway, since you guys,
My darling.
I'll watch it after the show, promise, so I can get the reference. Wait, direct, let's go to pa. Ayan, you split screen na
Go,
pala
go,
tayo.
go.
But anyway, Alex, you're a lawyer, and Agatha, you're a public figure. How do you guys handle the pressure? And when people misunderstand you guys, and especially with the same-sex couple, how do you guys handle that?
Well, it's still something we're trying to navigate, because it does get frustrating sometimes. I wanted to say earlier that I've been in the lesbian scene for well, let's do maybe more than 3 decades now. But I get the exact same reaction still that Agatha gets. People still question, like, maybe it's just a phase. Like, maybe you girls are just having your fun, and then you'll revert back to what's normal eventually. Or like it's those microaggressions, I guess.
Yeah.
It does frustrating sometimes. We're still trying to, even on a personal and a relationship level, we're still trying to figure out how to manage it and navigate it without, getting hit too much, I guess. But what we just try to remember every time we encounter experiences like that or phrases like that, people who judge us, we just try to think that, well, number one, we're lucky we have each other. Some people don't have the kind of support that we have right now. And then second, we just try to think that, well, we have this platform, we have this opportunity to try to educate, maybe make people understand. So we stretch our patience a bit when it comes to that, and then we just think of those people that, if we don't like give effort when it comes to trying to make people understand, just think about the other queer kids,
Yeah.
who also won't have that opportunity to interact with people who have been educated about this issue.
Yeah.
So it's harder for them.
Yeah, I wanna, sorry, attorney, I wanna jump in because I wanna ask Agatha as well because you mentioned quote unquote normal. Agatha, when we talk about quote unquote normal, when this is actually normal for you without air quotes, just what goes through your mind in terms of trying to assert yourself, one, first and foremost, and second, in terms of normalizing what is normal to you, even if it might be a bit foreign to other people?
I think people don't realize that when I made the transition of, I mean, like I said, right? Like I've been living this life
Mm-hmm.
privately. And then when I made the transition into living it publicly, it really set me free. And then it also kind of felt like finally, as opposed to before, that finally I'm able to live the normal, what feels normal. Like I felt that prior to this, everything just didn't really, it didn't fit with me, like it didn't feel right, and then now this is what's normal for me. So I think there's like a piece in that I kind of hang on to. So whenever people um try to, ask me for an explanation, or they
Mm-hmm.
want, thankfully with me, people have been wanting to understand. And I guess whenever that comes up, like people about what it's like, or when they try to understand, I have the, I guess, the grace to explain myself, just because I'm finally able to live that peaceful life, the
Mm-hmm.
happiness that I have. So I have the energy to explain.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people don't understand, I I take comfort, I guess, in the fact that there are people out there who have their own biases and prejudices. So sometimes even if you explain yourself to them in the best way that you can, they're already hell-bent on not understanding you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's out of your hands. Some things you can control, some things you can't, and you have to choose your battles. At the end of the day, we feel happy and with each other, and I'm happy with where I'm at. So I think I'll just continue, like with us, we'll just continue to explain it to other people. Hopefully, someone out there like me back when I was in high school, when I was scared to come out, might hear it and feel comfortable to, to come out and or to explore the life that they might want to have.
Yeah, Agatha and Alex, I wish we can talk for hours about this, and it's going by so quickly. But real quick, before we let you guys go, what are y'all's message to the next generation of the LGBTQ plus youth who are struggling to find their identity, struggling to come out? What are your words for them?
Well, there's a very big, loving, accepting community that's just here, ready to support them, waiting for them. I think it's important for them to understand that. We always talk about this on a personal level. I think we all have that common experience of, especially when you decide to come out, that you feel you're alone. You're usually left by the people you consider as friends or family. So the path is very difficult. It can get very lonely. But I think so it's important that they understand that, and they always remember that you're not alone. Again, there's a community that's ready to love you, embrace you, and just accept you for who you are.
Attorney,
I
sorry, Agatha, go ahead.
yeah, to add to that lang, because with us, like Alex has been out for a long time. She's been, an advocate for a long time of the LGBTQ. So with me naman, I think my message would be, it doesn't matter how you do it or when you do it. There are still people out there like who are still waiting to come out, or might feel intimidated too because they don't maybe they feel like they don't fit a certain mold. Like, a lot of people would say na, oh, with me, I'm very basic in terms of how I dress, or I'm very femme presenting.
Yeah.
But so they wouldn't expect that from me, I guess, based off of stereotypes. But it doesn't matter how or when you do it, as long as you feel like it's the right time. Maybe it's not now, but still part of the community, even if you're struggling to come out. And when the time is right, then you'll have your chance to do it.
Attorney, I don't want to put you on the spot, but then we were watching the entire interview and just seeing your reactions to each other, and how does it feel seeing Agatha be so open and honest about all of this? Because it feels that it's not easy, as you girls mentioned a while ago. Pero this type of platform, this type of honesty, it doesn't come in and around very often.
I love that question. To answer it directly, like I'm so, and I always tell her this almost on a daily, weekly basis. I'm so proud of her. It's and the thing about her is, and why this is such a, I see how big of a gesture this is, because I mentioned earlier, I've been in the queer scene for, well, 3 decades now. Agatha has just recently decided to publicly come out, So you have no idea. She was talking earlier about how people would question her, how people would keep saying that, maybe it's a phase. You came out too late, so maybe you're just having some confusion right now. It's actually crazier, the amount of doubt and then the stereotypes, the judgment she gets compared to, I guess, mine has dwindled down a bit, because came out way earlier. But for her, at this point in her life, I see how more difficult, probably, or more complicated the experience has been for her. So for her to do this, and then I see how she has just like embraced this. I mean, it gives her peace also, but the amount that she gives back also to the community. She mentioned like the kids. We always talk about this, the
Yeah.
teens, and not just even them, the people who have been maybe reluctant to come out until a later stage in their life. The amount of inspiration she gives to them, it's incredible. I've seen it a lot of times already. So
Yeah.
for her to do this, like, I'm just extremely proud of her.
No, the amount of inspiration you're giving everybody here. Your story's amazing. And I love getting to know and chatting with you guys, and especially the way we're looking at you guys on the camera. We can really see y'all are so in love. And it's so, so cute. But before we let you go, Agatha, belated happy birthday. Yesterday was your birthday.
Happy
So
birthday.
we're greeting you here from the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. This
Thank
is a
you
good
guys.
No, it's the pleasure's all ours. Thank you so much for your sharing your story, inspiring those who are watching, and hopefully we can have you again sometime soon in the future as well. Also, thank you so much for reminding me about the movie Ghost, which
I'm definitely going to
Monique
watch.
has never seen it, and she is missing out on the best pottery scene ever made in film history. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, my love. Go say bye now. My darling.
Thank you, Agatha and Alex. I'll definitely reach out to you guys. We can watch Ghost together.
Thank you, Carlo. Thank you
We'd
so
love
much.
to come again next time.
Yeah, come to the studio next time.
Let's do
Instead of
pottery
Zoom.
together.
Let's do that. Let's do a segment
God,
while
yes.
we're doing pottery.
I love it so much. Thank you so much, girls. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Agatha Uvero and attorney Alex Castro.